Take two. Welcome to the August 28, 2017 meeting of the Orlando City Council. Remember in West Wing, whenever the president spoke, the music would come up behind him all the time, and he sounded so presidential. I thought I was going to try that, but that music was just a little loud for that, so we'll have to get some different background music. Okay, we're going to begin today's proceedings with the invocation offered today by Chaplain Shirley Strader, who is a volunteer clergy person for the Joy Metropolitan Community Church in Orlando. She received her Master in Divinity in 2010 at the Florida Center for Theological Studies and was ordained in 2012. Chaplain Strader is a full-time Vitas Healthcare hospice chaplain and also facilitates the only ongoing monthly LGBTQ grief support group in Orlando. She grew up in Orlando and attended, wait for it, the University of Florida. All right. Chaplain Strader's invocation will be followed today by the pledge offered, led by Commissioner Ings. You may stand or remain seated.
Thank you, Mayor Dyer. Thank you, esteemed commissioners. So let us lift up our thoughts, our prayers, our reflections before you begin this enormous responsibility and task for which you have been elected. So to the one who is the source of love and unity, we thank you for this opportunity to be of service to our beautiful city and all its people and communities. Thank you for this council and their willingness to use the gifts, skills, and knowledge you have uniquely blessed them with to make decisions that improve the lives of all the citizens of this great city. Help them continue to be instruments of love and peace, equality and justice in a world desperately in need of those who will stand up for the rights and dignity of all people. Open their eyes to see visions of prosperity and diversity and growth. Open their ears to hear all sides of proposals and issues they are facing, giving them minds of discernment and wisdom as they make the countless decisions, many that are often difficult, which affect the lives of those they have been entrusted to serve. And may they have hearts of courage, love, compassion, empathy, and justice for all. And God, we want to take a special moment to lift up the people and communities affected by Hurricane Harold, especially those who've lost their lives, their homes, and their livelihood. We pray for safety and well-being of the community leaders, the elected officials, and the first responders as they face the daunting task of rescue, recovery, and rebuilding. Fill them with endurance and strength. And I pray for the safety and health of all of our leaders. And may the light of the one who creates and sustains us shine upon each of you today and always. And may this be so in all of the names we have come to know and experience the divine. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll and make a determination of the quorum, please?
Commissioner Gray.
Here.
Commissioner Ortiz.
Here. Commissioner Ortiz is attending by telephone today.
Commissioner Stewart.
Here.
Commissioner Sheehan.
Here.
Commissioner Hill.
Here.
Commissioner Ings.
Here.
Mayor Dyer.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. First order of business is consideration of the minutes from the agenda review and city council meetings on August the 8th. Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Hill. All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. All right, awards, presentations, and recognitions. I'd like to ask Walter Hawkins, our Director of Urban Development, to introduce International Housekeeping Week 2017.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. As we all know, Orlando is known as the foremost vacation and conference destination in the United States, with first-rate attractions that draw more than 68 million to our region each year. Our warm and sunny weather makes Orlando the perfect destination to year-round activities. However, our city is more than a premier destination. Downtown Orlando is the center of a dynamic metropolitan area with a vibrant and diverse community where arts and culture flourish. First quarter 2017, downtown Orlando had 117,000 guests. Downtown has 1,600 hotel rooms with 430 in progress and proposed. The City of Orlando would like to recognize the Central Florida Hotel and Lodging Association Housekeeping Council and to thank them for the role they play in the downtown tourism, which we expect to grow with the addition of major events such as our NFL Pro Bowl that serves sports tourism and world-class venues that attract more of entertainment offerings. Mayor, if you would read the proclamation.
Thank you, Walter. Proclamation, City of Orlando. Whereas the hospitality industry has a significant impact on Central Florida's economic prosperity through tourist development and sales tax revenues and through the direct and indirect employment the industry provides for over 1/3 of Central Florida's citizens. More than 68 million visitors traveled to Orlando in 2016. And whereas the Central Florida Hotel and Lodging Association is the world's largest regional lodging association and represents approximately 80% of all lodging rooms in Orange County. And whereas an important factor in securing return visitors to Central Florida is the high quality of customer service and hard work produced by Central Florida's housekeeping and custodial staff. And whereas the mission of the International Executive Housekeepers Association is to provide members with an array of channels through which they can achieve personal and professional growth. And whereas the IEHA has designated September 10th through the 16th, 2017 to recognize the efforts of its hardworking housekeeping members. Now, therefore, I, Buddy Dyer, Mayor of the City of Orlando, hereby do proclaim September 10th through the 16th, 2017 as International Housekeeping Week in the City of Orlando.
All right.
Yay.
And we will have representatives please come forward as take a nice picture with the mayor and presenting of the proclamation.
All right.
All right. Okay, I'm going to do the mayor's update and then change the agenda just a little bit. So I want to have everybody continue to keep those in Texas in your thoughts and prayers after the devastation that was left behind by Hurricane Harvey. My fellow mayors in Texas are urging people that want to help to donate to the American Red Cross. A $10 donation can be made very easily by calling 800 Red Cross or texting Harvey to 90999. So Harvey 90999. And also, I want you to keep your thoughts and prayers with 9 of our Orlando firefighters who have traveled to Texas, specifically to Houston, with the Florida Urban Search and Rescue Task Force. When we've had times of needs, the country, the world has given their love and support from everywhere that I can think of, and I'm proud that our firefighters are part of the rescue effort to show the people of Texas the same love and compassion that they have shown to us in the past. Please join us to continue celebrating our diversity at the city's Hispanic Heritage Month kickoff on Tuesday, September 5th. Seems like we were just doing that a year ago, I guess, suppose. It's a free event, celebrates our diverse and rich Hispanic heritage and culture. For more information, you can go to our website. Where's Alan? So Alan has reason to be proud. The International Association of Venue Managers recently honored the Amway Center with the 2017 Venue Excellence Award during their 92nd annual conference in Nashville. The award is bestowed upon facilities that excel in the management and operation of public assembly venues, and the Amway Center was the only arena in the world to receive that distinction this year. It's an honor given by industry peers and recognizes not the building itself, but the people who operate the building. So it's all about the customer service and the management. So that's a tremendous accomplishment for our venues team. Okay, I have just a few things that are actually on the consent agenda. Items B2 and B3. A few months ago, you know that we announced our community would be receiving grant funds that would reimburse us for the support of our immediate response and to continue providing assistance to victims following the Pulse tragedy. On the agenda is agreement that will allow us to be the recipient of those funds and to help us recoup the funds we used back June, July, August. Additionally, there's an amendment to the agreement with the Heart of Florida United Way, which reaffirms that a portion of our funding will continue to operate the Orlando United Assistance Center and guarantees it will continue through the end of 2020. The center continues to serve as a central resource hub to connect those directly impacted to a wide variety of services. The center serves more than 320 clients and has an average of 160 appointments each month, and we're grateful to the DOJ and the State Attorney General's Office for their grant funding and their support. And this funding keeps it open through 2020, but we intend to keep it open for as long as it needs to be there in our community. You know that this council's #1 priority is public safety, and as a council we remain committed to investing in the latest equipment. On today's agenda, we'll approve an item that furthers those efforts and implements a new computer-aided dispatch system using up-to-date current technology and it'll integrate both OPD and OFD into a unified dispatch system. An item we discussed at agenda review is the temporary use permit for the West Arts District, and as a city we are extremely supportive of public arts, including murals, and there's an item that will allow us to explore an expansion of our mural program working together with West Orlando Arts District property owners. We've developed a temporary use permit to allow art to remain on the buildings that exist now with some minor modifications, and we'll use this as a test pilot. I want to thank Commissioner Hill for her leadership on this project. And then the last item that I would like to mention on today's agenda is city support for the new Central Florida Social Enterprise Accelerator, which is a new 6-month program to support the startup and growth of social enterprise companies, which are companies that exist to solve social, environmental, and economic challenges. The accelerator will provide these startups with support, programming, mentorship, and help them grow their products or business into self-sustainable ventures and in turn creating new jobs here in Central Florida. The accelerator is a partnership led by 2 of Orlando's most successful social enterprise companies, Clean the World and Credo Coffee. I'd like to recognize Mark Brewer, Rob Panapatino, I know, Rob, sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
And Ben Hoyer, who are here today. Thank you for your support. Okay, if you'll indulge me, Council, what I'd like to do is move one of our hearings up as a courtesy, and that would be, let's see, hearing number 1, and that is a public hearing with respect to the GOA budget for 2017-2018, and we have GOA representatives, the chairman of our board, Frank Kruppenbacher, Phil Brown, the executive director, and Kathleen Sharman, the CFO. On August the 16th, the GOA board adopted a resolution approving its preliminary budget for fiscal year 2017-2018, commencing on October 1st, 17. And ending on September 30th, 18. The budget for the Orlando International Airport is $518,256,000. Preliminary budget for the Orlando Executive Airport is $3,516,000. In accordance with Section 12 of the city charter, GOA has submitted the preliminary budget to the council for a public hearing. This hearing is informational and we do not take action, but either Phil or Frank, would you like to address the council before I open it to the public?
Mayor, members of the council, Frank Kruppenbacher, the chair of GOA. First, on behalf of our board, I wanted to thank each of you. You are the absolute best partners anybody could have. The good news, our July numbers came in and we are at 44,300,000 plus passengers. So this budget, as the mayor knows because he sits on our board, has been designed to accommodate that growth. We were built for 22 million people, and so we're at 44. What I'll just tell you very quickly a lot of why we have a $3 billion construction program underway, which I'm proud. We are exceeding all of our minority small business goals in contracts. We are also, you may notice it, we are rebuilding the main terminal and operating. It's going to be all high-tech and LED, and it's really, as you see it unfolding, it's going to just make it that much more spectacular when you arrive in Orlando. But the biggest thing I'd like to do today is say thank you to you for your police department. We had an incident, as you all know, about a month ago, and the Chief Meaner and his officers, I personally went out there, or Phil and our leadership were out of town. It could not have been a better controlled environment in which calmness was ensured. We will continue to operate throughout the airport other than that one particular section. And I think because of their professionalism, no one was hurt, Chief. And I want to thank you for that. It meant the world to our airport and to the people there. And by the grace of God, everything worked out well. So we'll answer any questions you may have. If you have any technical questions, don't ask me. I'll get Phil up here because I won't know the answer.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you.
Well, then I will open it up to the public for public comment. Okay, and I'll close the public hearing. Thank you for being here. You may leave. Okay, I'm going to revert to the consent agenda, and the consent agenda is a number of items that are acted upon through a single vote of council. We give each of our council members an opportunity to comment on items from the consent agenda and update you on important happenings from their districts. We rotate the order that we do that, and Commissioner Ings is first up today.
Thank you, Mayor. And this past Saturday, August 12th, I held my District 6 7th Annual Crime Prevention Walk and Back to School event. The walk began at the Washington Shore Shopping Center at 9 a.m. and ended at Dr. James R. Smith Center. So we had approximately 90 persons who marched with us, along with several, OPD officers, that walked with us as well. And we had approximately 150 youth who received book bags and school supplies at the Smith Center. Also, Nick Anderson and Bo Outlaw from the Orlando Magic were present to give away 125 book bags, and they were also filled with school supplies. So this was a great event. We even had a teaching moment for all of our students, getting them ready for school, and we provided food and also other entertainment for them. Then the following week, on August the 19th, many of those students and their family members that marched with us, we had a District 6 Fun Day at Fun Spot America, and so they were allowed to come in for free for the whole day long, and we provided food for them as well and unlimited drink at the drink fountain. Then also on August the 14th and the 16th, I attended Senator Randy Bracey and State Representative Camilla Brown road designation and birthday celebration for Lieutenant Deborah Clayton, which was held there at the Walmart there on Princeton for the street a road designation for her. And then on the 16th, also with Senator Randy Bracey and Representative Camille Brown, the road designation for First Class Deputy Norman Lewis. His mother was there, and she spoke, and she also got pictures riding on Norm's bike, so that was really nice. And this was at Pine Hills and Silver Star. And then on Thursday, the 24th, I attended the funeral services for Officer Matthew Baxter and Sergeant Sam Howard from the Kissimmee Police Department. Both were killed in the line of duty. And this event was held at First Baptist Church of Orlando. Very well attended. Orlando Police Department chief, they did an exemplary job. And they really stepped in there, the honor guard, all of the supporting officers in helping to organize and get people where they needed to be. So we were really a real assistance to the Kissimmee Police Department. Chief Odell, as a matter of fact, a week prior to this incident, he had front page billing in the Orlando Sentinel for all of the great work that he was doing in training his officers on how to communicate and to react in the community and building great relationships. And then this very unfortunate incident happened. So again, our hearts goes out to Chief Odell and all of the Kissimmee Police Department and the city of Kissimmee. Also on that same Thursday, Orange County property appraiser Rick Singh held his State of the Orange County Real Estate, and this was at the Wyndham on International Drive. This was a great event. Lots of people attended, and he had some great numbers for Orlando and Orange County, and so we're doing some great things. And then I also attended on Saturday, August 26th, the funeral services for Mrs. Josephine Demings. She is the mother of Sheriff Jerry Demings, Orange County Sheriff Jerry Demings. This was held at St. Mark AME Church. Mrs. Demings was 95 years old when she passed. And she and her husband, he's still living today, had been married for 73 years. So this was really a great homegoing service for her. And many from the community were in attendance. And also on that same Saturday, I attended the National Congress of Black Women 5th Annual Founders Day Luncheon, and this was held at New Covenant Baptist Church on Rio Grande Avenue. My aide, Jacqueline Cockerham, received an award from Beverly Neal, who's the president of and founder of the Orlando chapter of the National Congress of Black Women. And I also received an award too. Both of those awards were surprises to both of us. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll move to District 1, Commissioner Gray.
Thank you, Mayor. Activities in District 1 are on my website and Facebook page, and staff has sufficiently educated me on the consent agenda items, so I will yield to Commissioner Ortiz.
Commissioner, thank you, Commissioner Gray. Commissioner Ortiz.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to keep it simple. First of all, I just want to, on item C5,
Commissioner, you've got some static going on. Maybe you want to just hold your comments to the next meeting. That's why we're going to upgrade our technology.
There you go.
Thanks, Commissioner. We'll move to District 3. Commissioner Stewart.
Thank you. I move that, whatever he said.
Can we do that every week?
Just kidding, Tony. Just kidding, Tony. Oh. Let me start with a couple of things. Of course, our thoughts and prayers go out to all the residents and the government officials in Texas, and special thanks to the OFD for what they're doing. There will be a long haul, and our thoughts and prayers. And Mayor, thank you for bringing that up. I also want to share, I don't do it often, but 3 very important people in our lives and our community have passed in the last 2 weeks. Claude Hunter, Dr. Alan Holcomb, and Billy Milligan. There's a core of, I say, old Orlandoans who have spent a great deal of time trying to continue to make sure that our community is a strong community and has a great deal of history in it. Dr. Alan Holcomb, as many of you know, was the chair of the Magruder Foundation and served as a doctor and was my mother's doctor. Billy Milligan's a very dear friend of mine, and Claude Hunter is a fraternity brother of mine. So it's really been a special time to get to revisit with the families in the last couple of weeks, and I just want to make sure that we get a chance to remember them in your thoughts and prayers. On to some other things that we did over the last weekend. We cut the ribbon on the new bathrooms in Trotters Park. I've never seen so many people excited about bathrooms in my entire life. It was a lot of fun. I want to say a special thanks to Denise Riccio, Tara Rusikoff, Lisa Early, their entire staff of Parks and Recreation. We had a great time out there, but we moved that out towards the northern end, anticipation of the changes we're going to make in Trotters Park to add some additional fields out there. So we're trying to make sure it works. The challenge that we have is running sewer lines from that building all the way up to the front. And so it took a little longer than we thought, but we got it done, and I'm happy to have played a little bit of part in that.
Commissioner, I think that's what the press is here for today.
I think they are too. They want to get a picture of the I've got an extra picture of the bathroom in case you want one. I also want to say thanks to Chief Williams and all the OFD. We had a great party last Saturday, an open house for District 3 and the College Park area and at Fire Station 3. It was a wonderful, and I just got a chance. I want to say how much I appreciate working with Ashley and the work that y'all have done there. We took flyers to the schools. We sent emails out. We email and make sure people knew how important our fire department was, and I was glad to be there and be part of that. A couple of quick updates. This Friday night is Lou Garden's movie night featuring Rogue One. It starts at 8 o'clock. And then also this Friday night at Baldwin Park is our first Friday. It starts from 5 to 7. And then we're still moving down the idea of more National Night Out, upcoming events, getting people excited about crime prevention. So we have 2 senior summits in District 3, one in Rosemont on September 5th, and one at Lake Breeze on September 6th at the Audubon Park Covenant Church. Those are important for us because we'll make sure that we keep our community safe. Onto the agenda, I've got 2 items I want to mention. A facade grant on 777 Bennett Road. Thank you very much for the work that you're doing. We appreciate that. Thank you, Kim, and thank you to our applicant there. And then we'll accept today a $7,000 grant, CERT grant, for the guys who are doing the CERT additional training for $7,000. I'm excited about those guys. They do an incredible amount of work, and I had a chance to talk with them briefly about what's happening over on in Hurricane Harvey, and they've been doing some communication back and forth on shortwave radio to make sure we can get people into, and that they only kind of access they have is through radio during what's going on with all that flooding. So I want to say thank you to that team, and honored to support them in that. And that's what I have, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll move to District 4. Commissioner Sheen.
Well, thank you, Mayor. And on item B2 and B3, the anti-terrorism grant to the Department of Justice and funding the Orlando United Assistance Center through 2020, I think that's so necessary. And a lot of people don't realize that, to a lot of folks, pulses, it happened over a year ago, but there are still people who are having issues with their hospital bills. There are still folks who need additional counseling. And I just want to thank Felipe and Lori Pampillo-Harris for the amazing work they have been doing under very difficult circumstances to help those in need, and also the Heart of Florida United Way for keeping this assistance center open and running very professionally and offering assistance to those who are going to need it for a long time. Unfortunately, someone can make less than the $750 investment in a weapon of war and do millions of dollars in hundreds of people that affect them for many years, and I'm just delighted that we're able to finally have the funding coming forward to make sure that we can offer ongoing assistance to those folks who desperately need it. And item C1, I want to call out my colleague, Commissioner Hill, expansion of the mural pilot program. You know, a lot of times artists don't understand. It's not that government's working against you. It's just that you got to ask permission, and they neglected to do so. And Commissioner Hill, you did an amazing job working with them, you know, in expanding the pilot program, because again, it's a beautiful. It's a really cool idea and a facility for our West Arts District. But artists got to remember they have to work with us, because if you don't get permission, it's graffiti, and we have to take it down. So again, I think that's a great program. And I want to thank McCoy Credit Union for funding the historic preservation calendar again. You know, that was going to go away many years ago, and McCoy Federal Credit Union has been a wonderful sponsor of this, and I want to thank them again. And on item E1 on the CERT program, Citizens Emergency Response Team. People don't realize how very, very important this training is until you really, really need it. And again, what's happening with Hurricane Harvey, and something that really struck me during the coverage was they talked about the fact that probably 90% of the people who live in Houston do not have flood insurance. And, you know, that's something that we really don't think about. That is a national program. And I'd just like to tell, you know, Orlando citizens, and I don't have it, you know what, we need to go ahead and get flood insurance, because you never know when you're going to need it. And, you know, they had unprecedented flooding, and, you know, you think it's like, oh, well, we've never had flooding like that, nor had they had flooding like that in Houston. And my gosh, they're talking 8 feet above the bayous. It's just horrible. And, you know, your homeowner's insurance doesn't cover flooding, so you might want to think about getting flood insurance if you don't have it. And the National Flood Insurance Program is actually a lot cheaper than homeowners insurance, and we all might want to think about getting that, especially since, you know, global warming and everything that else that's happening. Make sure that we're all covered. That's all I had, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll move to District 5. Commissioner Hill.
Thank you, sir. On Wednesday, August 9th, myself and OPD and OFD hosted the National Night Out Summer Camp for students at the Rock Lake Neighborhood Center. We sent about 50, with the partnership of McDonald's, we sent about 50 kids to the Sea Life Aquarium after OPD and OFD talked about safety. And the reason I thank you, Chief Mina and Chief Williams, for that program and making sure the kids in my district was able to partake in it. And it helps build our relationships with law enforcement and firefighters, in hope that there's some child that might want to become a law enforcement officer or a firefighter. So that was a success. The kids really enjoyed themselves. On Thursday the 10th, I, along with the Early Learning Coalition, toured several child care sites throughout District 5. They're going to be implementing a new pilot incubator with Karen Long, to where they're grooming child care operators and individual private child care operators in their homes on how to build their business. Most times we see child care as just babysitters in the inner city, but they're working with many executive women from Fortune 500 companies and banks, to where they'll be giving them financial literacy on how to build their brand along with building their business, and then creating economic development and economic wealth. So I'm excited about that program. They're going to have 30 child care facilities throughout the west side of Orlando and the east side of Orlando, the city. So I'd like to thank Karen Long for that. As Commissioner Ing stated, on Monday, August 14th, a day before my birthday, it was bittersweet. We celebrated Lieutenant Deborah Clayton's birthday, along with the great work that Senator Bracy and House Rep Camille Brown proposed and put into place, where we designated a road right there on Princeton and John Young in honor of Lieutenant Deborah Clayton. Then that Friday afternoon, on August 18th, I partnered with FunkyEyes.com. They have a manufacturing company there in the Paramore area. I'd like to thank Mr. James Coyne, which is the owner. He hosted a job fair in which they are going to put about 50 people from the Paramore area to work here in September. On Sunday, August the 20th, I attended Bethel Missionary Baptist Church, where there was, along with Commissioner Eames, where they were celebrating 105 years there in that Paramore area, there on the corner of Anderson and Paramore, which they are great community stakeholders and have made a way for many of the residents there in Paramore and throughout the city. That following evening, that Sunday evening, I was able to go and, what Commissioner Eames again? Over to the Central Florida Divas and Dudes Tribute Show by the Steinway Signature Fundraising Events. And Mayor, you received the award. I know you were flight delayed from coming from Hawaii, so me and Commissioner Eames stood and received the award in your honor. And it was a great story about how you brought piano lessons to the children in Paramore. So thank you. There was a well-funded, well-attended fundraiser, and now I think they're going to implement it now over at the ACE School. So they'll be teaching youth in the Paramore area, and I know they have a center there at the Smith Center. So I'm just excited about what Gary and his wife is doing for children in the inner city by exposing them to arts. And lastly, Orlando City Soccer will be having a job fair on August 29th. I'll be hosting tomorrow from 6 to 9 p.m. And it is actually only for those in the Paramore area. We did one last summer before last, before the stadium opened, which was citywide, but they want to focus more this particular on those in the Paramore area. And I'd like to thank Orlando City Soccer for all that they do there and throughout the city, but definitely in the Paramore area. There will be an opening of a Marriott there in the Creative Village area that will be opening up here in November. So they are accepting applications online, but they will be doing a job fair on Tuesday, September the 5th, there at the Callahan Center from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then again on Thursday, September the 7th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They will be doing, having interview skills training, and they will be doing on-site interviews. It will be best for you to go to, the jobs will be posted, which is a multitude, every hotel job there they're hiring for, and you can go to Marriott Orlando downtown.snaphire.com and fill out your applications and then come over to the job fair. And with that, Mayor, that's all I have. Thank you.
Do you have a motion, Commissioner?
I motion to move the agenda.
Thank you. Second.
Motion to approve the consent agenda by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Sheehan. All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And so the motion carries. We're going to recess without objection, recess the City Council meeting, and I will call to order the OPEB Board of Trustees meeting. Commissioners, we have one item before us today as the Board of Trustees for the OPEB Trust Fund. City's investment consultant has recommended the selection of a new real estate investment manager for the OPEB Fund, ASB Allegiance. The recommendation was reviewed and approved by the Investment Committee and the Finance Committee and is before us on final approval. Is there a motion to approve this selection?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Stewart, second by Commissioner Sheehan. Discussion, hearing none. All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, and so the motion carries, and I'll adjourn the OPEB meeting and reconvene the City Council meeting without objection. We've already had hearing number 1, so we'll move to hearing number 2, which relates to rescinding the Metro West DRI. The Metro West Master Association, as the acting master developer, is requesting a rescission of the Metro West Development of Regional Impact Development Order, which sets out DRI development requirements. It was initially approved 34 years ago, and a review by the city indicates that there are no development-related improvements that are due and that the request to rescind is appropriate. The proposed development order rescission will effectively remove unnecessary and outdated regulatory requirements. Motion by Commissioner Hill.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Ings. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify related to this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, and so the motion carries. Number 3 is a purchase agreement between the city and Creative Village for the sale of Creative Village Lot M. This is a public hearing for the sale of a parcel of city-owned land valued in excess of $500,000. As required by Chapter 13, Section 7 of the City Charter, notice of the hearing appeared in the Orlando Sentinel on August 21st, 2017, and approval of this transaction will require a majority vote of all members of the City Council. Property is located in downtown Orlando within the Creative Village Development site. Creative Village Development, LLC is the city's competitively selected master developer of Creative Village and has assigned the purchase agreement to Usler Development, Inc. Usler or an entity related to or under common control with Usler will form a single-purpose entity to act as the owner-developer of the multifamily housing projects proposed for the site. The city will deed the property to the single-purpose entity. The parcel is approximately 1.57 acres, and the purchase price is $5,475,396, which also happens to be the estimated fair market value of the property. At this time, I would ask if there's anyone from the public that would like to speak on this matter. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Sheehan. Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, and so the motion carries. Okay, hearings, ordinances, second reading, number 1, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance 2017-19, an ordinance of the City of Orlando, Florida, amending the city's growth management plan in accordance with the city's 2016 evaluation and appraisal report, amending certain portions of the urban design element, the future land use element, the transportation element, the housing element, the historic preservation element, the conservation element, the recreation and open space element, the cultural arts element, the stormwater and aquifer recharge element, the wastewater element, the solid waste element, the intergovernmental coordination element, the capital improvements element, the public school facilities element, and the monitoring and evaluation element, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
So moved.
Move to adopt.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Ings. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. All right, ordinances first reading, Madam Clerk, number 1.
Ordinance 2017-50, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, amending the city's adopted growth management plan to change the future land use map designation for a portion of approximately 14.63 acres of land generally located west of Narcoossee Road, north of Tavistock Lakes Boulevard, south of Tyson Road, from conservation to urban village in part and from urban village to conservation in part on the city's official land use maps, providing for amendment of the city's official future land use maps, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Gray, second by Commissioner Stewart. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Number 2, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance 2017-41, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, relating to billboards, amending Chapter 64 Orlando City Code to expand the digital billboard exchange program, to terminate the billboard replacement pilot program, and to allow GOBO projection signs in the downtown court subdistrict, providing legislative findings and for severability, codification, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ings, second by Commissioner Stewart. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify on this matter? Okay, I'd like to thank our staff and the industry for working together on this. The fact that we don't have any public comment is a result of a lot of hard work that's gone on for the last 6 months or so, and I appreciate the good work between staff and the industry. Discussion, hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, and so the motion carries. That concludes the official business of the Orlando City Council for today.